Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen who asked me questions not 3 days ago. I have some things to get out of the way first, before I get into the questions, and I'm hoping that this is my longest video I will ever make. I'm hoping I can squeeze it to around an hour-ish, or however long it takes me to answer these questions. Because apparently my account is enabled for it. I've never tried to upload a video longer than 15 minutes, but apparently I can do that as long as it's under 2 megabytes. And I don't intend to render this into super high quality, so it should theoretically be under 2 megabytes. So here's hoping that this, I can upload a long video for once. Have like a little podcast going on here. Anyways, another thing to get out of the way is that, well, actually, part 2 of that is that if I'm not allowed to upload a hour-long video, then I'll end up chopping it up into little parts, and yeah, you'll see in the title if this is part 1 or not. Anyways, the questions themselves. When I first made the video, I was thinking to myself, I was just gonna, look at the highest rated comments, the thumbs up the most. But I decided not to include that little detail in there because I just decided that I'm not going to give you any guidelines whatsoever this time. I'm just going to ask you to ask me questions, and when you do, I will decipher which ones are the good ones and which ones aren't. And I've done that. Unfortunately, about, I'm going to say 8% of the questions only got through my little critical receptors of these, my own little critique that I have. So that's, I only got the ones that I want to answer, or think I can answer. Some of them I couldn't answer. They were either just too stupid, or I couldn't read them, or something like that, but, the ones that I picked are the ones that I can and might enjoy answering. So I guess, let's just begin, because I don't know, people are probably going to even walk in on me, because I'm going to be talking to myself for a full hour. And I'm pretty sure they can hear me right now, but they might just be thinking I'm talking to my friends on Skype. Who knows? Who cares? Okay, question 1. I told you before, remember? If you looked back on the very first comment on the video, which is now gone, but if you did look, you would see that I posted a comment. The very first comment was, I'm going to be so picky this time, you guys have no idea. Something like that. And I was picky. So if you didn't get your question through, sorry. Okay? Ask better questions. And I think there's even a question in here that gives you. I'll be able to give my insight on what I think is a good question. So, I have to actually get to it first. Let's start at the top here. What do you think is the average age of your viewers, and what age would you like to appeal to? Well, I'm pretty sure the average age of my YouTube viewers is 14. I doubt anybody really is over 30. I doubt anybody is under 10. So, within the 11 to 29 age range is, I think, but I think, the average, the absolute average is 14. Because, I've never really talked to any one of the people who watch my videos. I've never talked to really any of them. One of the only people who I've ever, met through YouTube, and, well, I've met everybody on my Skype list through YouTube in one way or another, but one person who actually, directly contacted me on Skype after I made a YouTube video was like 3 years ago, and his name is Sam, and I'm currently promoting him on my channel. And back then, he was about 14, I think. So, he still watches my stuff, I think, but, I have to lump him in there too, and he's like 16 now. 17, I don't fucking know. Still a teenager, younger than me, whatever. And, even though the people on Skype always, there's people always asking me, hey, Slappo, what's going on Skype? It's like, well, you're a little bit too late, because I'm talking with people now. Maybe if I didn't talk to, Sam and Taco and Hazard and all these other people that I now currently talk to on Skype, maybe you and I would be closer. But since you and I never talked before, and I'm busy with them, fuck off. I have this weird kind of friend loyalty thing, where I'm always loyal to my friends, even though I know they'll fuck me over. Like Haruku Dark. Let me tell you a little story about Haruku Dark real quick. He's a guy who takes the internet very seriously, and as I'm sure many of you know, the internet is not to be taken seriously, ever. Well, not ever, but, 99.5% of the time. Don't take the internet seriously. This guy takes the internet very seriously almost at all times. And, he occasionally rages and leaves, and comes back, and he's like, hey, what's going on? Acts like nothing ever happens. Actually, a lot of my friends do this. Hazard is pretty much the only one who has never done this. Everybody takes the internet seriously, and they leave, and then they come back, and then they don't remember pretty much what happened, and why they're being stupid, and why, I like to talk to people who rage like that, and just, try to pick their brain a little bit, understand why they did that, understand why they think the internet is serious. And Haruku came back. I gave him $10 of my own money so we could buy Dragon Age 2. He's having a little Skype fund, and he was like, "Oh, Petrov, if you give me $50 to buy Dragon Age, I'll play Cityville on Facebook with you," which is not a fair trade whatsoever. And Petrov was eventually caved in, and he didn't even care about Cityville at that point. But he gave Haruka $50. I gave him $10, and he had enough from that to buy Dragon Age 2. And then he disappeared. And then suddenly he came back for like a day or two, and I pretty much, the last thing I remember saying to him was, I remember he had a receding hairline. I was pretty much saying, "Hey Haruku, you got a receding hairline." And I was kind of poking fun at him like that, because friends do that. And then he then we got called into a call with T2 and Petrov, and they had a little reunion. And I think everything is cool now. I don't think they prefer to talk to each other, but they're not deathly afraid of one another anymore, which is good. Internet people should not be afraid of other internet people. So after Haruku had a little, whining fit about something, I don't even know. He just kind of, he showed up on Skype one day, removed everybody from Facebook, removed everybody from Skype, uninstalled Skype completely, and left a message saying, "I'm uninstalling Skype from all my computers, ta-ta. And I doubt this will last. I horribly, horribly doubt this will last." Horribly doubt. I'm not sure if that was correct. Anyways, that's just a little something there. What was the original question again? Average age of my YouTube viewers? Yeah, Haruku's younger than me, too. And I've noticed that people that are younger than me typically take the internet way more serious than I do. This is just kind of like a little lesson for you guys out there. I've been on the internet since pretty much I can remember. My very first memory of the internet was talking on ICQ with somebody. If you guys don't know what ICQ is, it's basically the MSN of the late 90s. I remember being on ICQ and talking with people, and the moment I realized that the internet was not serious business at all was when I was on Gaia Online. Now, I've talked about Gaia Online, I think, a few times, but that was like my hub for like a few years, from like 2004 to 2007. That was my home page, essentially. And that was back when I was a Christian. I was still, kind of having my little crisis of faith, and I was trying to figure out what was right and what was wrong. I was arguing with this guy, and he was basically saying, "Does heaven exist?" And I was like, "Yes, of course it does." And things escalated. I don't really remember what happened from there, but I remember one of the last thing that he said to me was, "When you die, I'm going to find your gravestone and have sweaty, hot, ungodly sex on it." And that really freaked me out for some reason. That was when I was still, I think 13-ish, 13 or 14. And that kind of thing really fucks with a 13 and 14-year-old brain who has never, had any internet hostility before then. So I cried to my mommy, and she pretty much limited the internet because of that. Crying to my mommy didn't do anything, Basically all it did was limit my internet usage from then on out. So I think that's also kind of seeped its way into my psyche. So whenever anything kind of happens like that, I don't tell anybody. I try not to tell anybody too much about anything. Whether it be on the internet or whether it be in real life. Real life is not a game. So yeah, that's your question answered, kinda. Second question now. Do you have a dad? Of course I have a dad. Of course I do. Everybody's mother got fucked by some guy, and voila, baby, that's you. So obviously I have a dad. Did I know my dad? Never. I met him once when I was about 8. My mother and father divorced at about when I was about 2. So I don't remember anything about my dad at all. How should I tell this story? Okay, basically, it's not really a story, it's just an explanation of my father. My father was a womanizer. I believe he still is to this day. He likes to make babies, if that makes any sense. He likes to fuck the shit out of girls and make children. I'm not sure if he intends to make children, but he did. And I have many, many stepbrothers and stepsisters. Actually, I think I don't have any stepbrothers. I'm the only guy in the family. Yeah, I'm the only boy he's ever had. He's had like 90 girls and me. So I guess I'm kind of lucky there. So yeah, and I've never met any of my step-siblings ever. Maybe once. I remember meeting my grandmother on his side. She was scary, man. She was the scariest woman I've ever met in my life. Maybe it was because I was so young, and I didn't, have the mental capacity to process that, this is family, I love you. But I've never met her before then, maybe never. There's this wrinkled kind of, Native American looking woman in the corner. She's just kind of sitting there, and she has like these big thick glasses that make her eyes look like, like bubbles from Trailer Park Boys. And she's sitting there with a cigarette. She's all wrinkled, and she's just kind of staring at me. And then she says, "Come here." And I was like, "No, I'm not going over there." And then my dad actually picked me up. That's like the only time I ever remember my dad carrying me. He picked me up and brought me over to her, and I started crying. And then Mom kind of took me away from her, and that was the last I ever saw my grandmother. So yeah, I didn't know my dad's side of the family very much. I didn't know any of my stepsisters. I mean, my stepsisters? Yes, I believe that's the term. I was going to say sister-in-law, but that's only in marriage. I don't think he's married right now. He's had like 3 wives and 90 mistresses, and I think he has... Last I remember, he had 8 kids, including me and my sister. 6 other girls that I never met. I believe I met 1 when I was very young, but that's all. So, the one time I did meet my dad when I was 8, I don't remember why, and I don't remember when, but we just moved into a new house. The house that I currently, don't currently live in, but the house I just previously moved out of last year. So we just moved into there, and my dad, I guess, somehow got in contact with my mom, and he flew down here, because I was born in Fort Nelson, British Columbia. I was born up there. And they currently, from what I heard recently, they currently don't take any more deliveries in the hospital. Or, I don't think they even have a hospital anymore. I think they just, I don't even know. I haven't been there or heard anything about it lately. But from what I understand, they don't do deliveries in the hospital anymore, which is strange. So apparently, anybody who was born in Fort Nelson from like 2000 and prior are the only people that are going to be born in Fort Nelson. So that's where I'm born, and I am not fucking proud of it, because I've never been there and I've never even seen it with my own eyes. But well, I have. I was too young though. So that's where I was born, and I guess my dad flew down here from there, because pretty much the only thing keeping that town together was like a lumber mill or something, and it closed down recently. And he got like time off from that, because you make good money up there, and that's where a lot of my family worked, actually. My dad worked there, and yeah, he flew down here. I guess he got some time off, and I met him, and the only thing I remember about him was that he had a mustache, and he was kind of shortish. He was a little tiny bit taller than my mom. And the only thing I remember just doing with him, I never talked to him, ever. I never had a heart-to-heart with my father. But I do remember playing Steal the Hat he had a hat. He always wore a hat, from what I remember, always. And I used to take it, and I tried to grab his hat, and I kind of kept it away from him. You know, I played keep away with the hat, and I tossed it to my sister, and she kind of caught on, and we played keep away with the hat from Daddy. And then he left, and I never saw him again. And that's my father. I know I'm no special, you know, I'm not a saint of a human being, because my parents broke up. I know a lot of people's parents break up, but it's kind of inconceivable for me to actually have a father now. You know, being raised in pretty much nothing but a woman-run house. You know, I got my grandmother was always taking care of me. My aunt was around more frequently than my uncle. My mother was always there, obviously, and my sister was always around me. Yeah, pretty much just girls everywhere where I lived. My family is nothing but females, which is strange, because I think I might have actually picked up a lot of very feminine traits from them, probably subconsciously, but if I were to just hang around with a bunch of really macho dudes and I just, you know, acted normally the way I would normally act, I'd probably be called a little faggot, a little fairy princess or something. Because, I don't know, the way I talk, I move my hands around a lot when I talk, and I kind of do the limp wrist thing occasionally, and I don't know, I just kind of, it's what I do. Fucking girls. Anyways, that's my father. How far are we into this already? 16 minutes. 16 and a half minutes, rather. I've only done 2 questions, and I have about 10 more to go. Okay. 3 things you want to change about your life. 3 things that I want to change about my life. Well, I would like to not be so... I've kind of accomplished this already, but I would not like to be held back by any morals. You know, I think acting mechanically is sometimes a good thing, and most of the time it is. I think morals 9 times out of 10 get in the way of things that need to be done. Like, my uncle is a great example of this. Even though he's like a hardcore Christian who, you know, values life and all this other stuff, when a kitten that we were raising named Blackie, he got hit by a car on the road. We were living by. We had a farm, and we had all these outdoor cats. I'm not gonna bore you with that, but Blackie got hit by a car, and he was still alive, barely. He was barely alive. He was just barely hanging in there. He was struggling to breathe, and he was trying to crawl up, and his hand was broken, and you know his throat was probably all twisted and mangled and stuff, and he was just barely hanging in there. And my uncle comes along and smashes the bastard in the head with a shovel and kills it. And I don't think I could do that, honestly. I do not think that I could do that to this day. Kill a kitten that's still alive, barely. Even though it's still alive and I know I have to do it, I don't think I could do that. But he could, and yeah, he has no problem killing things that are injured. In fact, I think we had an overgrowth of kittens one time, and he actually just put them in a bag and drowned them all, you know, got rid of them. He never told us about this, but later on it was revealed to me that he did occasionally slaughter animals to get rid of them. You know, if you don't want a farm overrun with like 90 cats, you know, it's hard to keep track of them all, you can't feed them all, you know, to save on postage, I suppose, you just kill them, you know. I couldn't do that, but I would like to. Another thing I want to change about my life is I don't have a good memory. I think I've gone over this before, but I do not have a good memory. I can remember a few things if I see. I remember just one of my only real memories that sticks out every time I think of memory is that when I was in grade 1, Pokemon was all the rage. Pokemon was the greatest thing in existence. Everybody brought their cars to school. Any toys or action figures, you brought them to school. We had like this little talking Pikachu thing, which was awesome. I brought that to school, and I lost the tail of it at school. Somebody tried to steal it, and the Lost and Found was always full of little Pokemon action figures. And of course, 9 times out of 10, people who didn't own the action figure would go there and be like, "Oh my God, I don't have that. Yeah, that's mine. You know, I don't have Charmander yet." So that's what they did. And I did that a few times too. But the one thing I remember is that I didn't have a Raichu. Everybody I knew had a Raichu, and I didn't. Actually, nobody had a Raichu. So that's why I wanted to be cool. So I brought a Raichu to school. I didn't own it. My sister did. My sister was also into very much into Pokemon back then. And, so I brought a little Raichu into school. I remember I was like, 8 years old. Maybe 9. No, not even. I wasn't even... I was like 7-ish. Maybe 5. 5 to 7 around there. Pretty goddamn young. But I did bring a Raichu to school, which wasn't mine. And I lost it. I lost my sister's Raichu. And every time, we had this little thing going for a while. I was like, oh man. She was all pissed off at me, so I was all like, oh, I'm so sorry I lost your Raichu. And then she got all mad at me. And then pretty much a day later, I was like, I bet you've all forgotten already. And then she just kind of looked at me and she was like, what, you lost my Raichu? And I was like, yeah. And for the next like month or so, every once in a while, I just bring it up. Hey, I bet you forgot. What, you lost my Raichu? And I'm like, no, yeah, okay. So we have this kind of little back and forth thing going, and I swore to her that when I'm like 70 years old, I'm just gonna ask on my deathbed, I bet you forgot, and she's gonna remember because I keep bringing it up occasionally. So that's a little back and forth, kind of witty little banter my sister has. That's our relationship. Yeah, me and my sister's relationship revolve around a rubber toy I lost in grade 1. No, we have a much better relationship than that. Another thing I want to change about my life, memory was the second one. I can't remember things for shit. That was like, I just went on that because that's what I remember. And, another thing I want to change about my life. I'd like to read more books. I'd rather sit around and play video games and level up. I'm a Korean. I'm pretty sure I'm a Korean. I can sit around all day doing something completely monotonous to raise like a stat, to get my strength up by 1 point. I will sit around all day and like left click a mound of moss to get my intelligence up by 1 so I can cast a fireball spell, That's sad, but I do it. And books are awesome. I've only read 2 series of books in my life. And one of them is my favorite ever written, by David Gamel. It's called Troy. He's written other books that apparently he's more famous for, but I like his Troy series very, very much. And I might actually read some of his other stuff. I doubt it, though. I'm thirsty. It's getting kind of hot in here. Yeah, drink. 1 sec. That's like the stalest water I've had in years, actually. It's been sitting there. Water doesn't get stale. What am I talking about? It's just, it's not fresh and clear and crisp and clean. So those are the things I'd like to change about my life. Next question. If you were to kill yourself, how would you do it? I've thought about this many, many times. And, I'm pretty convinced that the way I'm going to eventually die is I am going to kill myself. It's either going to be I kill myself or something completely unforeseen happens. I don't see myself just dying in my sleep, having a stroke or something. I'm picturing myself going out somehow, like with a bang. I think everybody would like to. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking, but I'd like to die somehow extravagant. I'd like to. I've always said that I was gonna find out where Donald Trump, his routine. Find Donald Trump. Find the tallest building that he, routinely goes by, and just jump off. Set up a little thing like get him paused for a minute. Just jump off, and fucking kill myself off a gigantic building, landing on Donald Trump. Of course, I would only do that when I'm about 30, 40 years old, and he would likely be dead by then. Maybe. I don't know how old that fucking skeleton is, but he'd probably be dead by then. So I'd just find somebody else that I hate. Maybe Justin Bieber is still popular then. I'd jump off the Seattle Space Needle. Jump off that right on Justin Bieber's goddamn mushroom-headed dumb fucking head. Anyways, that's how I would kill myself. Extravagantly. I don't know how I would. I'll probably end up just like getting a gun and putting it to my head and saying "fuck the world" and blasting my head off. But we'll see. If you take... Okay. Next question. If you take most pride in being able to entertain yourself, how come that you are bored all the time? Do you need some certain slappa stuff to have fun? I'm not really bored all the time. Not really. I do these question things as a means to keep me from not being bored. When I foresee, you know, in the next few days, okay, I've got nothing planned these next few days. There's nothing going on. I'll probably get sick of Darkfall and WoW and all this other shit by then. I'll do a questions video and, you know, take out, you know, about 2 hours of my life editing and talking and uploading. And that's what I've done. But I don't know what you mean by certain slappa stuff to have fun. Does that mean just upload videos to my channel to have fun? That's part of it, yeah. That's part of how I keep myself entertained, is I think of videos. And I actually have a few videos planned that I was thinking of saving until I got back to the east, but I probably won't be doing that. I'll probably just end up doing it one of these days when I'm still out here. By the way, I am still out in British Columbia, the greatest place on earth. And it truly is. I know that's like the slogan that they keep advertising, like they advertise British Columbia and call it the greatest place on earth, which is strange to me. But I do love it here. There's no other place I'd rather be, really. I'm glad I grew up here. Yeah, that's enough of that question. I don't even know why I included that. Really. I didn't have any long-winded explanation for that, sorry. Next question. Can I take something away from you that would ruin your life? I love this question, because it is so open-ended and amazing and just well thought out somehow. It might not even be well thought out, but I just like the word something, even though it's misspelled. S-O-M-T-H-I-N-G. It's not something, it's something. Could you take something from me that would ruin my life? I believe you could. I've always said, the last few years, I've always said that there's only 4 things in my life that I really care about. My computer, my family, my house, and there's one more thing. What was it? What was that other thing? Water, yes. Water, family, computer, whatever else I just said. If you take any one of those things away from me, you will have ruined my life. The computer is obviously the most efficient to ruin my life. If you took away my computer, I don't know what the fuck I would do. I might end up going crazy and killing myself. I actually almost did that. Back east, I run on wireless, completely on wireless. Out here, I'm hardwired in, and I have like my modem directly beside me. It's collecting dust, and it's got like gravy stains or something on it. I don't know. But out east, I run on wireless. And occasionally, it just fucks up. I don't know why it does. It just does. And there's always a different explanation for it. It's never the same thing. But when it does fuck up, that's when I get angry. Because my computer pretty much runs on the internet. I have run on the internet since 1999. So, the fact that it doesn't work makes me go crazy. And usually when that happens, I go outside, I walk around, I take a breather, you know. I get a little stressed out, you know, a little frustrated. Oh, internet's not working, gotta go out. Get a little fan with me, and I, you know, wave it on my forehead, get away the sweat. But normally when that happens, yes, I do get a little fucked up. That is the closest thing I've ever had to having my computer physically taken away from me. It's been threatened about twice to have my computer taken away from me, but it's never, you know, gone through. And if they did, then I would just leave. If my computer ever just, you know, up and vanished, my life as I know it right now would be ruined. But I would just leave, you know? Like, pretty much my computer is the tether that keeps me at home. If it wasn't for the amazingness of the internet, the grand scale of the internet, and just, you know, what we've accomplished as a species through the last, like, 20 years, then there would be no reason for me to stay here. You know, my family, of course, I would love them and miss them and stuff, but I would just leave. I don't know where I'd go. I've thought about this many, many times, just, you know, just up and leaving. I know exactly where I would go, and I'd probably end up being back, but for the most part, I'd just be gone for a while, because I don't have a computer. But I do love that question. If you took my family from me, of course that would ruin my life, but that'd be much harder. If you took water from me, that'd also be very hard. And the other thing that I don't remember, my house. Yes, if you took my house from me, then of course my life would be ruined as I know it, because I wouldn't have the internet or anything like that. You get the drift. I need more water. I didn't notice. I never really talked for this long before. I used to do this all the time, back before I had a YouTube account, but it's been a long time since I've just up and talked for a long time. Ooh, I have like 5 different bottles of water here with a little bit of water each in all of them. This one was the best. That other one was kind of irony. Okay, next question. How good do you think your talking videos are? How good are the videos where I talk? Like this one. They're not nearly as good as some of my other ones, that's for sure. I think the greatest video I've ever made is, one of my talking videos, actually. It's called Idle. I think that is the epitome of Slap Your Face. It's called Idle. If you guys want to go watch it, go ahead. Know what I'm talking about. I made it quite a few years ago. It's just a video that always sticks out to me. Like, whenever I see, that thumbnail of George Carlin going, gotcha, or something like that. I don't know what he's doing. He's pointing, he's kind of being like a little cheeky faggot. Whenever I see that thumbnail on my video, and the title is called Idle, I always watch it. Because it's just my favorite video I've ever made. Don't know why. Nothing really sticks out about it. It's just the epitome of me, I think, is that video. Yeah, so my talking videos, my current favorite one is, of course, a talking video, which is Idle. But I do think that I do make a lot of, different variety. I make a lot of variety of videos, don't I? 95% of them I talk, 95-ish, yeah. And the other ones I just kind of think up and, I don't know. It's hard to explain Slap Your Face, really. If anybody could explain me in a few words, I don't know what those words would be. Anybody who could explain this channel, rather. Because this channel is very strange. I don't think there's another channel on YouTube quite like this. And I'm actually kind of proud that I've created a channel with such a different variety of topics and things. So, yeah. How good do I think my talking videos are? They're better than 90% of the other shit I make. But I do love some of my other ones. Like, Depiction of History, the Dark 12 video I made. I think that's one of my best videos. I like it. Anyway, enough of that one. How far am I in? About a half hour now? Yeah, past a half hour. Nice. Do you believe... Okay, this is a long one. Strap yourselves in. I'm going to read this in a different voice, too. Hold on. My throat's all dry. You don't know when I'm finished, right? So. Do you believe that people are naturally born selfish, only caring for their own needs, only committing good deeds in hope for a reward, and only refraining from evil deeds because of their fear of punishment? Or do you believe that people are naturally born good, caring equally for themselves and others, committing good deeds for the sole purpose of helping, and refraining from evil deeds because it would be causing harm to others? I apologize for the length, just for one simple question. Alright, so basically, what this is asking is, do you think people are naturally born good or naturally born evil? Basically, I mean, it kind of devolves into a little bit more of a deeper thing, which is to kind of what I was discussing with Hazard a few weeks ago. I was basically just fed up with the world for one night, because, that's how I roll. I hate the world for one night, and then I'm okay the next day. But basically one night, the world was pissing me off, and I basically made the observation that everybody does things for their own personal gain. However small that gain is, for however non-existent the gain is, maybe it's just, a personal, feeling or something like that, or whether they admit it or not, everybody does that. Because, like, I'm making this video right now for many, many reasons, but, the ones that I wouldn't admit upright is that, it gives me an opportunity to sound smart. That's one that that's partially why I make videos, whether I admit it or not, and I wouldn't admit it outright, but it does give me an opportunity to sound smart. That's why I make videos. The more abundant reasons is that, it gives me something to do, keeps me from being bored, gives me an opportunity to talk to people, gives an opportunity for me to get my ideas out there, bounce ideas off other people and that kind of stuff. And I don't really gain anything out of this. I just gain, a bigger e-peen. But that's enough for me to do it, That's why I do it. And another example of this, the example that I used a few weeks ago with Haz, is that my sister currently, she volunteers in a place to help kids. She's doing it for, she likes to say that she likes to help people. That's what she does. She helps people. I want to be a missionary when I get older, because, she's a Christian. She likes going to, she just wants to be a missionary for whatever reason. I can tell why, but she would never admit it. She wants to be a missionary because she likes traveling. She likes seeing the world. I'm sure she would admit to that. She likes to travel and see the world. She likes to do it because it makes herself look like a saint among our family. She would not admit to that. None of our family members really do that kind of stuff. My uncle does it occasionally because he's a pastor, and my sister does it because she wants to. Why does she want to? Well, because it makes herself feel better about herself. It gives her, a better sense of, character, because she goes out and helps people. She goes out and, maybe she does, maybe she does want to help people. Maybe the sense of helping other people gives her a sense of gratification, like, if people say thank you to me, then that means I know I've done good. It's all about you. No matter what you do, every action you take, I'm very, very convinced of this. Every action you take and every word that you speak from now on, just remember that you are doing it for any kind of personal gain, however small, or whether you'd like to admit it or not. That's the one thing that I'd like you to go away with, just from this question. Do I think people are naturally born good? I think people are naturally born neutral. I think you have to be corrupted good or corrupted evil for you to actually be, or just be born with a brain disability. That helps too. But I think the way you're raised makes normally I would disagree with the way that you're raised makes you, but in this case I think I agree with it. I was raised Christian and I became a Christian, and when my family stopped really paying close attention to me, that's when I kind of broke away from that. Yeah, this question is a little bit too deep for me, I think. I'm gonna move on to it. Move on from it, rather. But I do like that question, even though it was kind of long. I think people naturally are born with a sense of morals, though. Like, sympathy and empathy are two things that I know people are definitely born with. And I learned those two words and their definitions in grade 3. Just, throwing a note there. I learned a lot, actually. I learned way more in grade 3, 4, and 5 than I did from any other grade. Actually, I didn't learn shit in grade 8. Nothing at all. Yeah, I'm done with that question for now. In your opinion, what is a good question? That's a good question. What is a good question to me, SLAPPAYURFACE? Well, a good question to me is something that makes me kind of get, something that, if I'm in any kind of mood, that question could, derail me from that mood. Say I'm incredibly sad. Give me a question that's relatively elaborate and kind of nonsensical, but not too nonsensical, like, ooh, would a banana eat a goat if a water bottle had a camera? Shit like that. That's not funny. But, kind of give me a nonsensical question, like, here, I'll try to think of a good one off the top of my head. Like, what would I ask you, the people? To lift your spirits, give you something that would make me happy if I was kind of sad. If I had a little frowny face. Well, here's one. Honestly, I don't know what a good question is. I like questions that kind of throw me off. No question has ever really stumped me, but a question has thrown me off. Like, I had to read it again a few times, just to, get the gist of it. the questions that I'm relaying to you right now and answering, these are examples of good questions. This is why I did not give you any guidelines, because I wanted to sort through them myself and see which ones were good and which ones were not. And I've done that. These ones are good, the other ones suck. If you asked any question that didn't get answered, chances are I saw it, because I did read all of your questions. I read them all, and if you didn't get picked, then you should be left with the impression that I thought your question was stupid. However, some of them that I didn't answer were good, I just didn't answer them in this video because they either, one, delved too personally, two, it would have taken too long to answer, or three, I simply didn't have the knowledge to answer them again. So, yeah, these are good questions, the ones I'm answering right now. Like this next question I'm going to. What's your perfect Sunday? I thought about this a little while ago. In fact, just before I started this video, this is the question that I thought of before starting. This question is just essentially, what is your perfect day? And I'm gonna try get as into this as I possibly can. You know, from the hour to hour. My perfect day. Well, at this very moment in time, I'm certain my taste will change. So this is not like a set in stone kind of perfect day for the rest of my life kind of thing. But for now, until my taste change, this is my perfect day. I wake up at 9 in the morning. 9 is perfect. And it's a cloudy day. It's a cloudy day, and it's windy, and it's very lightly drizzling. All day. I love windy, light rain. I love it. I don't want it to be, I don't want any sun to break through at all. I fucking hate the sun. I don't like it. I get burned too easily in the summertime. By the way, the season that this is in is fall, just before winter. Lightly raining, the trees are all bare, the clouds are in the sky, and it's windy as fuck, and I love it. I have my window open in the morning, I swing it open, and I'm like, ooh, what a great day this is gonna be. I say it just like that, too. Ooh, what a great day this is gonna be. I say it like that, and then I sit on my computer. I plug my computer in, and then I sit on my computer. So I'm at my computer, I turn it on, and I'm sitting there with this biggest smile on my face ever, for no real reason. I guess I had a good dream. And I reach over to the children's Bible, and I look at it, and I set it on fire. I set the children's Bible on fire, which would of course make me laugh very, very much. So of course I'm laughing right now. My computer finally finishes booting up, and I log into Skype and see that everybody is posting pictures of themselves sucking my dick. I don't know why, I don't know how they would all suck my dick, but they're just all sucking my dick, and that's awesome. Then I jerk off to those pictures. I jerk off once. Okay, this is number one. This is jerk off number one. Jerk off to those pictures. Ooh, it takes me about 10 minutes to get off. I've got to get into it, you know? You can't have a perfect day and have a jacking off section that lasts 5 minutes. You know, you got to get into it for a little bit. So I jerk off. Ooh, it's all over the place. Clean up, I suppose, and then take a shit in the morning, because that's normally what I do. I take a shit. Then I take a shower for exactly 3 minutes. A 3-minute shower. I sit there in total ecstasy for 1 minute because I love the feeling of warm water hitting my face and going all over my body. I like it. I sit there, I just stand there, and I feel it, and it's nice and awesome. And then I step outside completely naked. Completely outside naked, in the wind, in the weather, and things that I just mentioned. And I don't get arrested. I sit there all naked, and I'm like, I wave to my neighbors, hey neighbors that I love and enjoy, which I've never had. Hey neighbors, I'm glad we're neighbors. Oh yeah, cool. So then I go back inside, after barbecuing something. I like to barbecue things. I've never really done it much, but I love anything barbecued. It's much better than, baked or cooked or fucking microwaved. So I barbecue stuff, and then I come back inside and I sit at my computer and I eat that barbecued stuff while playing my favorite game in the world at this moment, which is Darkfall. Now in Darkfall, it's about lunchtime now, about 12-ish. So in Darkfall, I'm sitting there with my barbecued stuff, and I sit there. No, it's about 11-ish. It takes me a while to barbecue stuff because I want to barbecue a lot. I want to barbecue potatoes and steaks and like, weenies and fucking hot dogs and everything that you could possibly barbecue. Like, barbecued carrots are also very good, and you lightly spice them, and you I don't know, they're just good. Anyways, you barbecue all this other shit, and you sit there with like this mountain of food that'll last you all day, and you just sit there and lightly pick at it while you're playing Darkfall. That's me. I'm doing that, not you. Sitting there, lightly picking at it, playing Darkfall, and then in Darkfall, it's revealed that Darkfall has completely changed to the way that I would always love it to be. So it's like, oh my god, Darkfall is actually awesome now. It takes about 1/3 of a second for it to download, because I fucking hate waiting for patches and shit. So it takes about 1/3 of a second to download, and it's all done immediately. And everything is perfect, and I get into a clan with my friends. Every single internet friend that I've ever had gets into a clan, which I'm the leader of, and we build a city anywhere we want. And we build it in a place, in a little cave that has a waterfall, and a little mining place, little foresting place, a little trolls or something to kill. So it's perfect for the new people. And then I have a good long fun time in Darkfall for about 3 hours. Then I go and watch a television show for about an hour. About an hour of television. Maybe two episodes of like some anime. I don't really watch anime anymore, but I did when I was younger, and if this is the perfect day, then nostalgia has to be involved somehow. So I watched some anime. 2 episodes of some anime. Awesome. Then I go back to Darkfall for about, no, maybe not Darkfall. I just check out YouTube. I go to YouTube for a while. I check out YouTube. All of my favorite YouTubers have made videos dedicating their love to me, SLAPPAYURFACE. Dedicating their love and lust and their need for my junk in their mouths. And they all subscribe to me. I'm suddenly bigger than Ray William Johnson. I make a video where basically I just say, fuck Ray William Johnson, and that gets, 1 million likes and like 3 dislikes, and there's no comment saying 17 people disliked this video because SLAPPAYURFACE is awesome. There's nothing like that. Every comment is just saying, there's like a religious debate going on. There's like, YouTube is not, horribly formatted like it is right now. It's nice, and you can actually understand what's going on in the comment section. And there's like this it's like a forum almost. It's awesome. So after I'm done with that, the hockey game is on. Oh boy, it's the evening. The hockey game is on. I re-barbecue the stuff that I didn't finish, so it's all re-barbecued and awesome again. And I sit there and I play with Lego while watching hockey for the rest of the night. And then during the commercials, I go and play probably a game of League of Legends. At this moment, that's what I'd like to do. I'll play a game of League of Legends. And since this is the perfect Sunday, actually, we would normally be eating with a family at this time. So in case that didn't work out, I would go to the most awesome bar in the world with not only my family, but everybody I've ever known and had a positive outlook on. Everybody, that means like, people I've never met in person, like Tweepo and Hazard and Sam and all these people that I have no possible means of connecting to. They just suddenly show up, and we're having a blast in like a bar, trying out drugs. Hopefully that always end out amazing. Like I have an awesome experience with pot and just marijuana and shit like that. And I have an awesome experience with shrooms, and I do all this other good stuff, and then I'm immediately fine. Like bam. Once everybody's gone, I'm not stoned anymore. I don't have any side effects. I'm totally fine. Then I go home and watch the hockey game. And then I go to sleep without any socks on, with my fan blowing on me, the window open, and it's suddenly very hot. The weather's just very hot. The window's open. It's my personal preference of a temperature. And then I fall asleep at about 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning. Yeah. Actually, I played Darkfall until 2 in the morning after the hockey game. And then I go to sleep. That is my perfect day. Next question. Some guy asked 4 questions that I thought were all actually awesome, and these are the last 4 questions, so hope you enjoyed these. One guy asked 4 pretty damn good questions, so I'm gonna answer them. Need water first. Throat about to blow up. You can choose your last meal. What will the menu consist of? I can eat a goddamn lot. I'm gonna say a meat lover's pizza from Domino's. A poutine from Burger King. Pretty much just one of my favorite things from every fast food place ever. A Subway sub, my favorite, of course. Actually, it'd probably just be a bunch of fast food shit, actually, now that I think about it. And a pizza. Yeah. Because, I mean, whether you want to admit it or not, the fast food shit is really addictive and really goddamn good. So I'm gonna go with the fast food shit. You know? What else? I've never really gone out to eat at any, like, big fancy restaurants. I don't really know. Oh, a fajita salad from White Spot. That's good. Yeah. I don't know. Hazard would probably just say onions. And that's my answer, too. That's my secondary answer. Just nothing but a big plate of onions, just 'cause. You know, maybe go out funny. Can't go out amazing, go out funny. What is the most terrifying moment of your life so far? This actually happened yesterday. Yeah, yesterday night. I've never really gotten out much. I haven't been injured. I haven't seen anybody get injured. I've actually seen people get injured, but I didn't care about them in any way, shape, or form. I'm not related to them. I don't give a fuck. I've seen guys get hit by cars. I've seen people get stabbed. I've seen, you know, all these other things. But the one thing that scared me more than anything else was yesterday. My grandfather's health has been declining quite a lot lately, and yesterday he lost control of his legs and was standing up and almost fell downstairs, which I'm glad he didn't fall down the stairs. He fell backwards. So he fell down, and he was like, I don't know what, I honestly don't know what kind of, I'd tell you his symptoms, but like someone else, some smartass would probably tell me what it is, and I'd be like, oh, it's this, and then it's not. It turns out it's not that. And, you know, he gets medication for it, and you know, he ends up dying or something. So I'm not gonna do that. Basically, he just can't get up or walk at all. Can't move, basically. So he's on the ground. He's just kind of sitting there, and my grandmother has to go to pick up my sister from school, from college rather. University, wherever the fuck she goes to, I don't know. But she goes, and she basically entrusts me, okay, make sure he gets to the bed, okay. And having responsibility pretty much scares me more than anything else on the planet. Responsibility is worse than seeing death itself reach for my neck. You know, I'd rather just you know, anything you can think of. I'd rather do that than have anybody count on me for anything. I'm very not independable, undependable. Not dependable. Rather I am. I usually 9 times out of 10 complete what people tell me to do, but I'm stressing the fuck out the entire time, hoping that I do it. So I hate being told what to do, basically. And since this is my family, you know, my grandfather, who fell and can't get up, and you know, saying, "Hey, Slappa, pick him up, get him to the bed." Well, okay, I'd love to pick him up, but I don't know what his, you know, his pain threshold is. You know, like if I pick him up this way, will I like break his spine or something? You know, so I didn't do that. I just kind of, you know, guided him along the ground to the bed, and then I kind of helped heave him on the bed. And yeah, that scared the shit out of me last night. I was more terrified than I've ever been in about the last 4 years since I cracked my own ribs. Actually, that was about 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years. When I cracked my ribs in PE, slipping on a hula hoop, running at full speed, falling backwards, landing awkwardly, and cracking my rib. That scared the shit out of me because I couldn't breathe for a good, like, minute. Yeah. What is the strangest thing you've ever eaten? Well, I'm incredibly picky about what I eat, but I think sushi is the strangest thing I've ever eaten. And I know that doesn't sound that strange to many of you, but sushi is just a very strange thing to me. I've never really... You don't really understand what sushi is until you actually look at it. You just think it's food and you eat it, and okay, it doesn't taste that good and it's acquired taste, but I'll get used to it. But you sit back and look at it, it's seaweed. Dried seaweed, wrapping, dry rice, and 9 times out of 10, raw, uncooked, like crab meat or fucking, eel or something, with like fish eggs on top that pop in your mouth and you feel like you've caused many abortions just by eating food. The Japanese are really fucked up, that's what I'm trying to say. Sushi is disgusting. I hate it, but I have tried it, and it's... Most of my other things that I eat are pretty tame, like, salads and fucking pizza and burgers and normal shit like that. But, yeah, I'd say that's the strangest thing I've ever eaten. Sorry to disappoint you with that. And the final question, which I decided to end on, I don't know why, but it's a very simple answer. I guess I'll try to go into it as much as I can, because I have I'm almost at an hour, so I'll try to go into this for like 3 minutes. Which season do you appreciate the most? I know my answer, but I'm gonna go through every season because I gotta kill time. Spring is okay. I do not mind spring because it's not that hot. It gets hotter near the end, but from the transition from winter to spring is, I think, my favorite like part of the year. Not my favorite season in general, but just my favorite part of the year is the transition from winter to spring, because like it's more than often sunny outside, but it's not warm. It's I don't mind the occasional sun breaking through the clouds in winter, but like in springtime, I'd rather, like, I'm more active during the days when the sun is behind clouds, or just nighttime in general, because I don't really like daylight. I don't know why. I guess I've fallen victim to the basement dwellitis or whatever. So that's, yeah, I like the transition from winter to spring. So spring is okay. When the trees start getting like all bushy and full of life again, then I hate it. I hate summer more than I hate any other season. I don't appreciate it, I don't respect it, I hate everything about it. Nothing about summer is awesome. I used to love summer when I was younger, because that was the one time I wasn't in school. However, if I could pick a time to not be in school, it'd be winter, because it makes way more sense, first of all, and it's my favorite season. Summer is horrible. I hate summer. Falling to sleep every night feels like a chore. It's so fucking hot all the time. Yes, it gets hot up here in Canada. The summers are actually kind of brutal up here, whether you like to think so or not. Yeah. Summer sucks. Fall is okay, too. It's not horrible, it's not great, but some of my favorite memories come from fall, especially, when I think of fall, I think of calendars, like, in elementary school, looking at the calendars, teaching you what days are and stuff. That's what they first taught me in kindergarten, actually. And you went to kindergarten, you started the year in fall, so, I have some fun school memories, and some unfun ones, like not wanting to go to my first day of school. Yeah, there's that. And then winter, of course, is my favorite. I think snow is awesome. I probably because I don't drive at all yet, but I think snow is the best thing ever. I've had way more fun memories in winter than I've ever had any other time, because of course there's Christmas, and of course my sister's birthday is in winter, and snow comes in winter, and I've had a lot of fun snow memories, and at school and at home with friends and shit. It's just awesome. I love winter. Anyways, I'm nearing my 1 hour target, so I've talked successfully now for about 1 hour. That is excellent. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for the questions, and now you know what kind of questions I'd like to answer. So there you go. 1 hour has passed. My throat hurts. My mouth sucks. It's all dry. My mouth sucks because it's dry. I'm gonna go make out with Pikachu or something. Goodbye.